Good evening. You're watching In Your Interest. I'm Shweta Kothari. After a decade-long wait, home buyers in Noida are seeing a long-awaited beacon of hope. Unitech's flagship golf and country club project have been resumed for construction after a Bhomi puja ceremony over the weekend. The pivotal event, overseen by newly appointed government board, not only signifies the beginning of a new chapter for the project, but also brings renewed interest and hope, as well as optimism for buyers who invested their lifelong savings in their dream homes years ago. The ceremony was led by a government-appointed board of directors who took over Unitech in 2020, succeeding the Chandra brothers following a Supreme Court ruling. The event brings a sense of relief to many home buyers, though their optimism is tempered by ongoing concerns. The company struggles with inadequate funds, unable to pay Noida authorities land cost dues of around 11,000 crores and secure additional financing for construction. The Enforcement Directorate of the ED and the other agencies are still investigating the fund diversion by Chandra brothers when they were the Unitech's promoters. The Unitech has planned a residential project in a large parcel of land called Unitech Golf and Country Club in 2006 and 7, under which 3 sets of residential developments were initially planned. Of these 3, 2 were luxury group housing towers, the Amber and the Burgundy. One was a bungalow project called Willows 1 and 2. The Noida Authority, in accordance with the Supreme Court order, has so far now approved revised maps only for housing towers, which are partially built, and not the revised maps for the bungalow plots just as yet. The tower projects entail 818 apartments in Sector 96, 97, 98, located along the Noida-Greater Noida Expressway, with 180 still vacant. The Amber project consists of 7 towers with 422 apartments, while Burgundy features 7 towers with 395 apartments. A total of 638 apartment buyers are currently awaiting possession in these projects. The Willows, the bungalow project with 397 plots, is expected to see plot deliveries within this next 6 months, assuming the development proceeds as planned and is not hindered by seasonal restrictions or other issues. In addition to delivering on these projects, Unitech is also delivering a 5-meter wide, a 3.4-kilometer long walkway around the Unitech golf course, which is set to be completed before possession is granted. The company plans to sell unsold plots in January of 2025 and raise around 400 crore rupees for construction and expedite project delivery. The company is also seeking judicial support to secure bank funding for its projects, similar to measures previously applied in other cases. YS Malik, the former IS officer and chairman of Unitech's new board, had announced that Amber and Burgundy, both luxury groups housing towers, are on track for delivery to home buyers after June 30, 2026. Construction on these projects has resumed following approval of revised building maps by the Noida Authority in June this year. However, Malik also highlighted that there are still challenges, including fund deficit and ongoing investigation into past financial mismanagement by the Enforcement Directorate. To talk about the Bhomi Pujan and what is the delivery timeline as far as those projects is concerned, joining us on the show is YS Malik himself. He's the chairman of Unitech, a new board and former IS officer. Mr. Malik, thank you very much for taking time out, sir. Our first question first, sir. Bhomi Pujan done. What's the road ahead? What is the delivery timeline looking like?
Thank you so much for getting me on to the viewers. You have given the introduction with slight correction, if you permit, that Noida, based on the directions issued by the Honorable Supreme Court, has granted us approvals for the building plans for Amber Group Housing and Burgundy Group Housing, alongside a part of the plotted inventory comprising of about 400 plots.
Okay.
Out of that, 321 plots had been allotted, and the remaining forms a part of the unsold inventory. Now, as we look at it and we go along, what I find is that as far as Burgundy is concerned, I don't foresee much of a problem in financial management, and we are not asking for any bank loans for Unitech. Let me clarify. Unitech is a defaulter with banks, financial institutions, and we don't propose to seek any loans from any banks for Unitech. What we are asking for is, or requesting, and we propose to place it before the Honorable Supreme Court also, that the bank should be directed to fund restructure the loans already given to the home buyers earlier, and also to sanction loans for the buyers. It is for the home buyers, not for Unitech.
Okay.
So that the payments by the home buyers with regard to the balance dues is without any problems. Coming to the timelines for completion of the project, the Willows, which comprises of about 400 plots, the external infrastructure works are planned to be completed by 30th of June 2025. Our target is to complete it ahead of that schedule by 2-3 months, depending on what the circumstances are. As far as Ember is concerned, see, what we have also done is, since these structures have been, like Ember, there are 7 towers, the structures have been completed, and the works have been lying stalled for a period of more than 7-8 years. So we deemed it important to look at the health safety audit of these structures which have been lying stalled. So we engaged with IIT Roorkee, and we have got complete health safety audit and structural audit for all these towers which are in situ, and find that there is some work required to be done for retrofitting to take care of the deficiencies and to rectify those deficiencies. But taking all these together, Amber, which has a total of 422 flats across 7 towers, is slated to be completed by 30th June 2026. And our effort is, with the help of the contractors and my PMCs, that to do it 3 months ahead of that schedule. But 30th June 2026, we look at it as the date by which we should be in a position to complete the part of it.
All right.
Now, let me add to it that in out of 422, 385 flats have been sold in Amber, and out of that, about 136 opted for bare shell units, whereas Burgundy has also been given complete as bare shell units. So I requested the home buyers, and they were very positive about it, that as we keep completing the bare shell units, they should also look at the possibility of engaging their construction agencies for the internal fit outs, so that all the internal fit outs and fittings are also completed simultaneously. Otherwise, if somebody takes it up later, it only adds to, it spoils the lifts, it spoils the lobby area and all those things. And the home buyers were very positive to look at it. As a matter of fact, I have offered to them that they can get in touch with the civil contractor appointed by the Unitech,
Right.
but it is between and the civil contractor to work on what specifications they want and what is the cost. We don't want to get into it. Let it be decided by the home buyers how they go about it.
All right, and I also want to understand, how are you mitigating the construction bans which are likely to come into force when GRAP kicks in by October end, which is around Diwali time? Do you think some of those bans, some of those issues with respect to graded action plan is going to hinder the timelines, or are you confident of meeting those timelines?
I'm confident of meeting the timelines of 30th June 25 and 30th June 2026, not with GRAP 3 and GRAP 4. And that is where I'm saying that our target is 3 months ahead of that schedule, provided the GRAP 3 and GRAP 4, during which construction remained banned, does not affect us. But during that time also, as far as the internal works are concerned, invariably internal works, finishing works are permitted during that time, so long as it does not affect the environment and it doesn't create any pollution.
As far as those invested in both Amber and Burgundy project in Noida sector 96, 97 and 98 is concerned, the groundbreaking ceremony happened just as of yesterday, and we now have a timeline as to when home buyers will get possession, and it will be any time after June of 2026. To talk more about what these projects mean and what is the latest update, also where does the money come from, is Mr. YS Malik, is the chairman of Unitech's new board. Mr. Malik, right before we went into break, we were discussing finances, and you said we're not looking for loan as Unitech, but we're hoping that banks will, go easy at least on home buyers who had availed loans. I want to understand from you, you inherited sort of a broken company which had dues to pay to a lot of people, including Noida Authority, to the tune of about 11,000 crore rupees. What happened to that loan, and do you have sufficient funding right now to meet the new deadlines that you've set for yourself?
See, we are very confident of meeting the new deadlines and the funds for that. The money for completion of these projects has to come from two sources. One is the remaining balance dues towards the home buyers, for which we are giving them in a quarterly installment payment schedule as per the revised payment plan as approved by the Honorable Supreme Court, and then monetizing the unsold inventory. As far as monetization of unsold inventory is concerned, our effort and plan is that since it will be, we will be able to complete the infrastructure for the plotted inventory by June 25. We would like to get into the market for sale of the plotted inventory first to generate cash flows, which take care of the flats construction as well, apart from the balance receivables from the home buyers simultaneously. Now, what it is, since the credibility of Unitech as on date is very low, I would like that the unsold inventory of the flats is sold to the home buyers when we go to the market to sell it, that we can offer the key of the flat ready to move in simultaneously with the allotment letter.
Okay.
So that we respond to that confidence level and restore the credibility of the company. That is the plan. Let us see how we are able to move. I am confident that we should be able to achieve that.
All right. And I also want a quick update on the other projects apart from this one. I'll come to that in a bit. But, as I said, you inherited sort of a broken company, sir. You yourself mentioned the credibility was very low. I'm sure you've spoken to a lot of Unitech home buyers who've been waiting for their dream home. Some of them have grown a decade older waiting for their home without the delivery, and hoping that this time around, with you taking over with the new board, that their dream project will finally come back to them and they'll be able to get possession of their homes. How optimistic are the home buyers? You must be speaking to some of them. What are they saying? That is number one. Number two, what is the financial situation of Unitech looking like as far as other projects is concerned?
See, there are concerns, there is no doubt about it. There are two other projects in Noida itself. We have Sector 1, where the already sold units is close to, it is 1600 plus. And that project is in deficit close to about 400 crores. And we had proposed to use the unutilized land parcel for development thereof. But so far, we have not been able to get the approval of Noida Authority to that because it has been treated as a project not launched. Reason being that the 1600 plus flats have been sold at that time at a rate varying between 3,000 to 3,500 rupees per square foot. So the balance receipts are not enough and there is a considerable gap. If we are able to construct additional flats which would be sold at the current market rate, we would be able to bridge that deficit to a substantial extent.
All right. Just to clarify, sir, are you talking about the Unihomes project in Sector 113 and the third project that includes Exquisite, the Residence, Unihomes 1 and 2 in Sector 117? Are those the two projects we are talking about?
Yes, I'm talking about those. As far as Unihomes project in Sector 113 is concerned, as a matter of fact, we had planned an identical meet for 22nd. Till I was told by the home buyers that this is not a very auspicious time because you have the Shraddh starting from 18 going up to 2nd October. So now we, respecting their sentiments, we have planned that event there in Sector 113 on 6th of October. And in the meantime, because we have already got the EC and the consent to establish for 113 and work actually has already started on ground. As regards 6 projects forming a part of Sector 117, where there are more than 3,500 home buyers, we are, awaiting receipt of the, environment clearance as well as the consent to establish, which we can apply for after the EC is received. The first step, which is a welcome move, that on 20th we have received a notice from the State Expert Appraisal Committee, Lucknow. They are going to take up 117 project for appraisal. And I hope that within a month, we should be able to see that through also. And then we will move on to Sector 117.
All right. And before I let you go, what happened to the Noida Authority land dues of 11,000 crore rupees?
I don't want to comment on it, let me tell you, because the Honorable Supreme Court's directions are that those dues would be determined after hearing both sides. But there is a huge amount of top up on the actual funds payable to them as per our calculations. Both sides have their own grounds, which finally would be adjudicated and determined by the Honorable Court. So it would not be advisable for me to comment on that.
All right, sir. And, I have to ask you before I let you go. I know Enforcement Directorate is already trying to establish where the Chandra brothers are. But now that you are at the helm of the company, were you able to make off where were the funds diverted? Where did the money actually go from home buyers, and why were the projects delayed? Where did the money vanish? Are you able to connect the money trail at all now?
That is the job. As a matter of fact, the management does not even have a copy of the forensic auditor's report. That has been given only to the investigating agencies.
All right.
That is not our domain, but the investigating agencies, Enforcement Directorate, SFI is also doing something. They have passed 7 attachment orders so far. One of the concerns for me, and we are approaching the ED for that in all my projects put together, 777 units, flats, were earmarked for CIG, which have been attached by the ED. Now, my problem is that these units are interspersed in different projects at different floors in different towers, and we cannot leave them incomplete when the whole project is being contracted out. So we will have to take up the completion of those projects also. And in the meantime, we propose to go to the appropriate court as well as the Supreme Court to request the ED and permit the ED to restitute those attached assets to the new management.
All right. Mr. Malik, you have a tough job, sir, ahead of you. Thank you very much for taking time out. Really appreciate you joining us here on News 9 Live.
So much. Thanks.
And with that, it's a wrap on this show. Thank you very much for watching.